Who shadow drops a trailer at 10 a.m. Nintendo? There's no fanfare, no Nintendo Direct, no nothing. We just get a trailer at 10 a.m. out of nowhere just on a random freaking Tuesday? Well, I guess we have Xenoblade X HD now, everyone. I hope you all had a great time looking at this at work or even waking up to it if you slept in pretty late. Wasn't really expecting this myself, especially not at this point in time. It seems like it's going to be the last gasp of the Switch 1, which is a really interesting decision in general, but I do have to say, based on what I have seen from this trailer, the updated visuals do look very, very beautiful. Now, the world always looked beautiful in X, but the character models look significantly improved from this trailer so far. Elma, especially right here, looks a lot better. Now, the default cross design kind of looks weird. I don't know why. There's just something that looks a little off with his face, but considering you can just completely change that design and he doesn't really matter too much to the story anyway, doesn't really matter that much. We'll just change it to be something even infinitely funnier anyway, so it doesn't matter. Now, I'm really excited for this because I do think it's going to be really fun to be able to revisit this game on the Switch, especially with online returning and there's going to be much larger player base. I really hope they add a lot of new online content to the game because what we had last time just wasn't enough, and I think there's a lot of potential for a lot of really cool MMO-like elements if they are able to add even more Nemesis fights and stuff like that. I think it'll be a lot of fun to spend a lot of time in this game if they're able to do that because X combat system was one of my favorites, so I think there is a lot of potential there. Len's face also looks a little off. I'm just not really used to it yet, but, you know, it still looks a lot better than the original X model, so, you know, you can't really be too upset about that. Maybe the character creator is going to be even better this time around, too. We'll see. Now, I know what you're all here for. What do I think this means for the potential story of the series? And, well, we're going to get to that because there's a last scene here that kind of has some really interesting implications with a new voice line we never heard in the original Xenoblade X game, and I think it is going to be interesting to kind of consider the implications of that.
Fancy seeing you here.
So all we really get as far as any kind of potential teaser for actual new story content is just basically the Black Knight who was seen at the end of Xenoblade X kind of foreshadowed for the eventual X sequel we never ended up getting, just meeting Lao on the beach near the end of the game saying, "Hey, fancy seeing you here." And, you know, I don't really know what this means yet. I can't even tell who the voice actor is, so I have no idea if it's someone who's voiced a previous character or not in one of the other games of the series. I'm sure someone can probably listen closely and figure that out for me, and if that has some really interesting implications, that's cool. As far as my thoughts right now, I don't know if they're going to use this as an opportunity to try to connect it to the other Xenoblade games as of right now. I don't even know what their plans are as far as that is in the future, but I do know from the anniversary video we got about a month ago that they did have all of the characters, including Cosmos and Elma, just kind of show up together at the end, but that was just an anniversary video, so you can't really kind of really showcase that as any kind of proof for sure, but there's been a lot of like hints over the years that they kind of want to do something with everyone. I do still think it would be very difficult for them to try to connect Xenoblade X inside of the main universe to the other Xenoblade games and even Xenosaga now if these Vector Radio and Dmitry Yuriev name drop has anything that was really important about that, even if it had the Project Exodus drop, just because there's a lot of really important lore differences going on there. The fact that there's no aliens in the Xenosaga universe, the fact that the Earth was just completely destroyed in the X universe, stuff like that. But that is not to say they cannot connect them in other ways, of course. Maybe the Xenoblade X universe is some kind of simulation within the Xenoblade universe inside of Supercomputer with the Zohar shenanigans or something like that. Maybe Xenoblade X is just an alternate universe altogether, so there are still plenty of avenues they can use to actually connect the series without them having to be within the exact same universe, of course. Now, I'm really interested here just because I do wonder what they are going to do since this is obviously more of an upgrade than anything since it's going to be the last kind of game they release on the Switch 1. It's not using a ton of new assets or anything like that. Like, you have to imagine the Switch 2 is probably coming out sometime in the couple months after that based on everything we've heard. So this is probably going to be the last final major thing that they release here, which, yeah, it's kind of just going to be the big finale for the Switch if I had to guess or anything. So it'll be nice to kind of really see what they're going to be doing. Maybe they are going to be teasing some kind of actual substantial sequel this time around because they want to continue it. And maybe that sequel connects to the main series somehow at this point because it'll just be easier to do it that way at this point. So it is going to be interesting to see what they end up doing with that. More than anything, I'm definitely excited for the gameplay sections again and just being able to make a bunch of gameplay guides again for a series I love. I've been kind of wanting to do that for a really long time again. And, you know, I hope they don't make any major changes, but I do hope they add a lot of new content for us to kind of experiment with in this game. I will say I am kind of surprised that we got this, especially at this point in time, because I was definitely on the Xenosaga bandwagon, and I still do think that is going to be happening at some point in the future, but it would need much more work than a Xenoblade X remaster would at this point in time, so I'm not surprised if that's something that they're still taking their time working on, and it would be like some kind of Switch 2 title if they're actually doing any kind of full scale remake or any kind of upscale remaster or something like that. And it's possible that they just kind of ported or something. They're still waiting for the Switch 2 or something like that as well. Or there might just be some issues with Namco right now. I have no idea. But, if I end up being really wrong about that, you can all make fun of me. And, I won't be too upset by it, because, at the end of the day, I'm still playing more Xenoblade and it's all right. But given, once again, that at the end of the anniversary trailer they had Cosmos there, given they've been teasing Cosmos with stuff for years, I do think we're going to get something with that eventually as well. So, I guess Xenoblade X just gets its turn first, especially because it's just easier to do. And yeah, I'm still really excited for the next new game we actually get too. So hopefully any kind of actual story teasing is going to end up being something substantial for that. And into Xenoblade X does end up just being its own universe and own thing. That's fine too. I'll still be looking forward to the actual eventual X sequel, even though it's been, 10 years at this point, right? So we have that to look forward to. I'm not going to worry too much about any kind of major theory crafting right now, since, we kind of just got this trailer and there's really not much we can tell based off that just at this moment in time. But, I am excited to really play Xenoblade X again. I hope you guys are too. And, if you haven't played Xenoblade X before, I hope you enjoy the game when we get to it. It's a really fun time. There's a lot of really good content in it. I really like the open world exploration. I really like flying around in a mech. And I really love the ground combat in the game. It's a lot of fun, a great improvement over the original Xenoblade game while keeping a lot of the same systems. And there's a lot of really fun depth to it as well. So, and, I'm going to be making sure that I get ready to remake all of my guides for that game and make some new ones too. So they look forward to the overdrive guide again because, everyone's going to be really enjoying that when we get to this game. Only other thing I can really say is if they do end up trying to connect it to the other Xenoblade games, I'm really interested to see how they're going to do it because, there was a lot of things I had doubts about, especially if it's going to be in the exact same universe. But if they have any kind of other solution, like the different universe or something like that, then, I think it can be a lot easier. But I'm really interested to see how they're going to do it if they end up going that route. Now, like I said, there's not a lot to go off right now, so it's really hard to make any kind of prediction related to that at the current moment in time. So I'm not even going to bother. I'll leave that to the wonderful lore-based, in theory, YouTubers like Luxon who can enjoy spending an hour on that instead of me, because I don't have a lot of time. I have to get back to work here pretty quickly, so I just kind of want to do a quick lightning-fast reaction based on and give kind of my general thoughts about what I've seen so far. There's not a ton to go off yet. I'm really looking forward to more trailers in the future. We'll probably learn some more information about it then, and I'll be able to analyze some stuff a little bit more. But, really looking forward to this game again, and, yeah, I don't really have too much else to say, so thank you guys so much for watching. Look forward to another Xenoblade hype period with me and me getting back to making a bunch of videos again, hopefully, and have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you back here soon when we get some more news.